Hello, and this is a story about Johnny. So Johnny was a good kid. He got good grades in school. He helped out his sister. He always helped out with his family around the house and everything. One day, his mother in the morning asks him, "Hey Johnny, could you do me a favor and pick up some liver from the butcher shop on your way home from school?" He says, "Sure Mom, no problem, I got this and I'll take care of it." And so Johnny goes off to school and he has a fine day. At the end of school, his friends come to him and ask him, he's like, "Hey Johnny, come out to the arcade with us." And Johnny says, "Oh, I really want to." "Okay, sure, yeah." So he goes to the arcade and they're having a good time. They're playing skee ball, a little bit of Street Fighter, and they're having a fun time. And then he realizes that it's 6 o'clock and he's like, "Oh man, the butcher shop, it closes now." So he runs across town and he gets to the butcher shop. The butcher already put all the meat away. And Johnny says, "Please, please, can you please just give me some liver for my family? Could you please just do me this one favor?" And the butcher's like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't. You should have come here earlier." And he's walking home. He's going slow because he's like, "Oh man, what am I gonna do? This is so bad. I've never done this before. I don't know what came over me." And, he's walking slowly and then walks by a graveyard. And he decides to take the long way home. And Johnny's walking through the graveyard and he's thinking about his mom and his sister and his father, and he's thinking, what am I going to tell them? I've never disappointed my family ever. And he walks by an open grave. And to this day, I don't know what came over Johnny, but Johnny walks over to the open grave and looks in. And he looks around, he checks to his left, he checks to his right, he looks around for people and he doesn't see anyone. He's there alone. So then Johnny thinks of his family one more time and he jumps into the open grave. He opens up the casket, and in there he sees a fresh body. He sees a sharp rock that's on the ground. He takes it and he starts to cut at the belly. And he's starting to tear flesh away, and he reaches in and he pulls out the liver. And he's holding it in his hands, and he's looking at the blood go down his hands. And he thinks to himself, "What have I just done?" He closes the casket. He runs back to the butcher shop. The butcher was just closing up. And he puts his hand behind his back and he says, "Excuse me, sir, could I have some paper?" And the butcher says, I'm closing up now." He's like, "Please, I couldn't get a liver from you. Can I please just get some paper?" So the butcher says, "Fine, here's some paper." So the butcher gives him the paper and goes home. And Johnny takes it and wraps the liver in the paper. And he gets to his front doorstep. His mom opens the door. She says, "Where have you been?" He's like, "Oh, here's the liver." And she's like, "Oh, thank you, son." And she takes the liver before he can even say anything. His mom starts to cook and Johnny is speechless. The family then sits down to dinner and they all just start to eat the liver. But he can't believe what's happening around him. He doesn't want to eat. His mom says to him, "Why aren't you eating? This is really good liver." And so his mom makes him eat the liver. At the end of the night, everyone's going to bed, and in the distance, he hears the faint, "Give me back." He doesn't know if he's really heard something or not. And he decides that, that was probably just the wind. That wasn't anything. And so he brushes his teeth, he gets ready for bed, he goes to his room, and he hears at his front door, and he decides, I'm just making this up, I'm hallucinating. He gets inside of his bed. He hears his front door open. "Give me that." He calls out for his dad. He says, "Dad?" He doesn't hear anything. "Mom?" He doesn't hear a reply. So he thinks, maybe everyone's just gone to sleep. I should do the same. Nothing's really happening. I'm just hallucinating this. He hears footsteps walking up the stairs. "Give me back my liver." And now Johnny is sure that something is in the house with them. They're here with his family. He thinks to himself that he brought this to his house. Pulls the covers a little bit further up, and he hears something walking down the hallway. "Give me back my liver." So Now Johnny's really scared. He sees the door to his room start to slowly open, and Johnny pulls the covers over his head. There are footsteps slowly coming to his bed. He feels the cover at his feet pull up. Happy Halloween, everybody.